aspect of a working cheat is often too good to be true. While many gamers prefer to play the game as intended, sometimes it's real fun to dabble with a cheat or two in order to up your gameplay. From free money to extra lives to a plethora of power-ups, there's no shortage as to what you can do when you bust out a cheat. If it works, that is. So today we're separating fact from fiction with our list of the top 10 cheats that actually worked. Let's jump in. Number 10, the rare candy cheat from Pokemon. Back in the day, there was a really easy way to get cheat codes, through something called GameShark. GameShark was a line of cheat cartridges for various systems, most notably Nintendo systems like Game Boy and Game Boy Color, but you could also nab cartridges for N64, PlayStation, and PS2. These days, if you're trying to play an old Pokemon game via a ROM rather than using the old system itself, you can easily get your hands on digitized versions of GameShark, and pop in codes to unlock a whole lot of delicious cheats. Perhaps the most common use for this is ROMs for Pokemon games of the Game Boy systems. There's no shortage of rare candy cheats for Pokemon games that are available, from Emerald to Fire Red and even the OG Red, Blue, and Yellow games. These cheats can give you an excess of rare candies, which, as most of you probably already know, are used to boost the level of your Pokemon without having to do any training. It's a really easy way to jack up a Pokemon on your roster before going into battle. Up next, number 9, GTA 5 cheats. There's been many Grand Theft Auto cheats over the years. Invincibility, unlimited ammo, flying cars, you name it. In the age of MMOs and blockbuster games having major online components though, modding a game to enable the kinds of things that you'd want from cheats is as easy as snapping your fingers. But if you're the type who doesn't like to venture into online play and prefer to just stick to playing on a console rather than a PC, you're not totally out of luck as far as cheats are concerned. On the PS3, PS4, Xbox One, and even Xbox 360, you can still muster together cheats for GTA 5 by hitting certain strings of buttons that will give you the likes of invincibility, max health, and armor, unlock various weapons, give you a super jump, give you explosive bullets, and perhaps the coolest one, allow you to function under moon gravity. Yeah, you can make Los Santos feel like you're on the moon, which we strongly advise pairing with invincibility. In addition to this, the game is stacked with cell phone cheats, codes that you can unlock by whipping out your cell phone and dialing various numbers that spawn various vehicles, and all the things that we actually just mentioned. It's a versatile game for cheats. Up next, number 8, the Turkey Assassin from Assassin's Creed 3. Assassin's Creed is a franchise that takes itself pretty seriously, so it makes sense that when you hear that you can get a turkey assassin companion in the game via a cheat, some people may snicker. A snicker is a totally acceptable reaction. Turns out it's a real thing though, and it's like the greatest thing they've ever done. Look at its little hood. Unfortunately, the turkey assassin is just for your viewing pleasure. He doesn't kill. He's sort of just there to keep you company, and you can feed him and you can pet him. So if that's up your alley, this is how you can get to hang out with that feathered friend. Once you've made it to sequence 6, it's unlockable. What you do is you go to the Davenport homestead and go towards the area on the right hand side of the building and hide around the back corner. Whistle and a turkey will trot up to you. Turn towards it, press up, up, down, down, left, right, B and A, which is for Xbox, but if you're on PlayStation, circle an X. And bam, there you go, turkey friend. Up next, number 7, Big Daddy from Age of Empires. Assassin's Creed isn't the only franchise with a sense of humor. In Age of Empires, you can summon a car called Winzet Z, which is modeled after a Chevrolet Camaro Z28. Aside from seriously clashing time periods, this car is a beast. It has a rocket launcher that fires at enemies, and it moves really fast. You can unlock it by hitting the enter key, then typing in Big Daddy in caps as one word. Hit enter again, and bam, there you go. Big Daddy isn't the only cheat you can unlock either in the game, even though it's arguably the most entertaining one. Typing in Big Mama gives you a variation of that car. Typing in King Arthur turns birds into dragons, and typing in Gaia gives you control over all animals. There's also a bunch of resource cheats too. Typing in pepperoni pizza gives you 1,000 food, and coinage gives you 1,000 gold, to name a few. Up next, number 6, the Exploding Lara Croft. The early Lara Croft games were rumored to have a cheat in them that allowed you to get Lara fully naked. While pervs everywhere became obsessed with trying to figure it out, come on guys, she was made up of a bunch of pixelated polygons. Others discovered a different cheat in the game, one that was an inside joke and quite complicated to initiate, and actually mildly pointless, since it didn't really do anything to progress the game. It was just pretty neat to look at. We're talking the Exploding Lara Croft cheat. Oftentimes this is the cheat that many kids thought was the Get Lara Naked cheat, and much to their disdain, she would just explode instead of her clothes disappearing. In order to see Lara go boom, you'd have to step left, right, left, then step forward, step backwards, turn around 3 times in any direction, jump forward, and then press the roll button while in the air. And boom goes the Lara. Up next at 5, Motherload for The Sims. The Sims games are notorious for having unlockable cheats. This constant has remained even in the latest Sims, Sims 4, and includes the Motherload cheat. Anyone who's ever played a Sims game knows the importance of having your sim make sweet cash, or rather simoleons, the sim currency in the game. Motherlode is the infinite money cheat, sort of, which fills your bank account to the brim, allowing your sim to live the high life. On PC, this can be done by hitting Ctrl-Shift-C, which opens up the command console, and then you just type Motherlode in, and you get a sweet $50,000. If that doesn't satisfy your craving and you're still filled with envy of someone else's property in the game, you could always type in Free Real Estate ON, free real estate all being one word and ON at the end being capitals, and claim whatever piece of property floats your boat the most. Side note, if you're playing on the PS4, you can open up the cheat menu by hitting L1, L2, R1, R2 all at the same time, except that there's a bit of a different process you have to use. You have to type in testing cheats true, with testing cheats being one word and true being separate, and then hit enter. Then click OK when the cheats enabled warning pops up. After that's done, just type in the word Motherlode or whatever other cheats you'd like. But worth noting that when the cheats are enabled, you can't score any trophies. Up next, number 4, debug mode. It doesn't take a technologically savvy player to break into a Sonic game and goof around with all of its properties. Rather, it takes someone who has access to YouTube, really. Debug mode is one of the most famous video game cheats out there, allowing players to play around with Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in a way that gave them absolute control. You could alter levels, give yourself as many rings as you wanted, transform yourself into something other than Sonic, put items wherever your heart desired. It was insane. All you had to do was go into the sound test menu, punch in 19, 65, 09, 17, then go back to the main menu, press A and start, and then play tracks 1, 9, 9, 2, 1, 1, 2, and 4. And then bam, there you go, practically a god in the game. Since then, debug mode has become a bit of a staple in the Sonic franchise when it comes to platform games in the series, and there's many that you can access it into, but Sonic the Hedgehog 2, still the best. Up next, number 3, God mode from Doom. Speaking of gods, here's something that's even more godlike, having permanent 100% health. Yeah, definitely comes in handy with a game like Doom. Doom Guy, in general, is one of the most OP characters in video game history. You basically slaughter hordes and hordes and hordes of demons in the game. So pair that up with constant perfect health and the game feels like a walk in the park, with demons and bullets and explosions. Regardless of what enemy you face and how strong you are, your health will remain untouched. So how does one unlock God mode? Just type in IDDQD. Easy as that. In our number 2 spot, the Konami Code. The Konami Code is likely the most famous video game cheat in history. It was created back in 1986, when a dude named Kazuhisa Hashimoto was developing a home port of Konami's hit arcade game Gradius for the NES. Realizing through testing that the game was too difficult, he inserted the code, which unlocked the full set of power-ups you gradually acquire throughout regular gameplay. The code was found in the game after its release, but instead of taking it out, developers left it in order to avoid causing more glitches and bugs had they tried to remove it. This eventually led to Konami slipping it into other games from then on out, the Contra and Castlevania series, and even the Metal Gear series. Developers outside of Konami have also been known to pop it into games too. These days, while the Konami Code likely isn't the first cheat that comes to mind when playing a game, it's still seeped in pop culture, and often appears as an Easter egg in more contemporary media. For example, going on the Marvel website and typing in the code results in a one-time event when a scroll version of Deadpool pops up onto your screen. On the official Overwatch website, if you type in the code, D.Va will rain down on the screen, which to be fair is the one character in the game who would be well acquainted with the code. Hell, even the Bank of Canada website used it as an Easter egg back in 2017 to hype up the new $10 bill. If you typed the code in when on the website, the Canadian national anthem began to play, and the screen was filled with animated $10 bills. And lastly, in at number 1, Missing No. Missing No in the Pokemon games is technically a glitch, although players start to use it as a cheat instead, despite the potential danger it posed of completely trashing their game. Sort of, but more on that in a sec. For context, Missing No is a Pokemon you can catch. Also sort of. In Pokemon Red and Blue, you can stumble upon a Pokemon that looks like this, a pixelated block creature that sometimes takes on other forms, but always appears with the name Missing No when you encounter it. It's listed as a bird-type Pokemon. Bird types don't actually exist in the game, instead they're known as flying types, but the Pokemon itself functions as a normal type. Anywho, you can find one of these if you talk to the old man in Viridian City. Go through the motions of him teaching you how to catch a Pokemon again. Then once he's done, fly to Cinnabar Island and surf along the eastern side of the island, right on the edge, not venturing into the water itself. This is where you may encounter a Missing No. It's not always guaranteed though. Now there is some complex reasoning as to why this glitch happens, which we highly suggest you Google, but the short and sweet version is that the old games were programmed differently than the current ones, and Missing No appears when the game got confused by what Pokemon to spit out at you, when your name during the demonstration with the old man was briefly changed to Old Man. Names are important in the game. So how exactly is this a cheat, you may be wondering? Well, when you encounter it, the 6th item in your inventory multiplies. Put a rare candy there or a Master Ball and Yeah, they're rolling in it. Another benefit of it is dependent on your in-game name. Like I said, names are important. The game can spawn some pretty powerful Pokemon on that stretch along Cinnabar Island. Hence that whole Mew rumor that used to be kicking around. But hey, all of that is pretty darn great, isn't it? But it's worth noting that the Missing No glitch can mess up your save file, specifically affecting the Hall of Fame entries, and can temporarily scramble the way that Pokemon look in your game. So if those things matter to you, perhaps skip on the Missing No glitch and save yourself the stress. Alright, there we have it, friends. How many of these cheats have you tried? Which ones were successful beyond your wildest dreams? Which ones surprised you? And are there other cheats that you found helpful that we should have included on this list? Give us a shout about all of your cheat code feels in those comments below. If you dug this video, why not show us some love by hitting that like button? Click subscribe if you want to hang out with us some more. And be sure to give the playlist that we have on your screen right now a look. We have a ton of other gaming videos just waiting for you to give them a watch. So be sure to come on over to the channel. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one.